Hello friends, welcome back to Code Crush Coding. In the previous video, we have created a table using JDBC. Now let's move forward and learn how to insert records into that table using Java JDBC. So we have a table called employee. We have created this table called employee, right? In our schema called demo. So this is our schema demo. Inside this, we have created a table called employee and which have two columns ID and name. And these are our five statements. First we imported the package, then we have created the connection, then we have created a statement, then we have executed the statement, and then we finally close our connections. Now what we need to do, we need to insert the records. So how we can insert the records? Same things, right? We just need to update our query to inserting the records. So let's see how we can do this. So let me comment out this particular create table query. So I will just comment it out because we don't want to create a table now because table is already created. Now as we don't have this variable, so I will remove this variable also. Just we need to update a query here. So I will create a new query string. Let's say insert SQL. I will say here insert, or we will say insert query. So this is the query that we need to execute now, and inside it what we need to say, we need to say here insert into table name. So our table name is employee, so I will say here insert into employee, and what we need to insert, we need to insert these values. And what are the column names that we have two columns, ID and name, right? ID and name. So ID is of type integer and name is of type varchar, right? Because we have provided here the data type. So ID is integer and primary and name is a varchar. So ID, let's say 1. So ID will be 1 and name will be, so name, so I will say in single inverted commas because we have already used the double inverted commas for the entire query. And let's say the name is John. So this is the name and this is our final query, right? And then we have created the connection, then we have created the statement, and then we need to execute it. So in the execute update, I need to make use of this insert query now, right? Because this is the query that we need to execute. Now let's save this code and run now. Before that, we will check whether we have any data in our table. As we know, there is no data, but let's fire a query here. Select star from employee and execute it. Okay, so we could see there is no data. There is not a single row here. ID and name are empty here. Now we will insert this. Now we should able to get this data in our database, right? ID 1 and name as John. Let's run this code. Fingers crossed. Okay, we have executed our code. There is no error. And if I go into the database and fire the query again, see, we are able to get the output as 1 and John. So finally, we have inserted the data in our table with the help of JDBC. So see how simple it is. We just need to understand the steps and we need to follow them. And we need to type the correct query, correct username, password, right? Now, one more thing I need to do. I don't want this console to be empty, right? Because we get afraid whether we will get error or something like that. So here, what we can do, this execute update, this particular statement is going to return as an integer value. Okay. So why does it returns as an integer value? Because when you execute this query, you are going to update one record here, right? Because we got one record here. So it's basically return as the number of records that are inserted. So what I can do here, I can create a variable called int and I can say here rows inserted. This is the name of variable. So now whatever number it will return, that will be get stored inside this variable called row inserted. And then I can print it. So I will say here, let's print the variable here, rows inserted. Whatever number it says, that I will say inserted. Okay, now we have already inserted the id 1, so I will say here 2 and let's say another name. So what is the another name that we have? Let's say Om. Save it and run now. So see, we are getting here a message called one inserted. So basically one record inserted. And if I execute the query again, so I will get here ID as 2 and name as John. So in this way, we are able to insert the records into our database.